I'm still, working. Notice
Okay,
period.
you are still
Same here. I'm
working.
also in my notice period.
I have seen people roaming around India, and here people are sitting in their
Yep,
rooms.
yep.
Okay, so you should also try to roam India, right? Gandhi roamed India for 2 years, roam India for 15 months, 15 days, right? So yeah, let's start. Okay, let's start. So, how was your journey? We have seen you in the interview, right? People are here to interact, so I would let them ask the questions. Okay, so people are in the first phase of their journey. The first batch has completed their course, right? Not all, one course is remaining. Okay, so they have completed their course. So, what guidance can you give them after they have completed their course? Because they have not been doing so well in SIMCATs, right? They have given their SIMCAT and they have not been doing so well in SIMCATs. Even if they have been doing it, they do not know, right? One person scored 80 or 90 and he was saying that, sir, sorry, sir, I failed. Okay, so please guide them.
I mean, we've been in that position. I know for a fact that both Anirban and me have talked about how disappointed we were with our scores, and they were way below 90, I'll tell you that. Um, but it's part of the process, honestly. Your first SIMCAT, your first couple of SIMCATs even are expected to go bad. It's all right. You can't take it too hard. The idea is, and I know you'll keep hearing this, but analyze, analyze, analyze. That's literally the only way out of it. Have an Excel sheet where you kind of go through each and every question, you go through each and every concept there is, you find out why you've made a mistake, and then you if you find there's an area where you're struggling in, do a couple more questions. Honestly, it's not going to be different from what your mentors have already told you, and that's because these are also the things we have heard from them, and it works.
Okay, so I would like to ask the questions. I would give the stage to the people who have joined. Anyone having any questions, you can ask them directly. Anyone having any question, it is your chance to ask. Okay, Jetli, yeah, you can ask the question. Just speak up. Open your mic and speak. Yeah.
I think Anirban, it's on the chat. You can take it.
Okay.
Okay. How did you approach quants? So quants basically, I think you should work on your basics initially. So that is more than enough, to be very honest. And if you manage the questions well in your during your mocks, then I think you will sail through in quants. So quants is not something that you should be worrying about, because if you learn the set formulas, and even if with arithmetic, if you're able to deduce to the equation and what the question is saying, and if you have good comprehension skills, I think you'll sail through in quants. So that is not a much of a worry. And you should be practicing, keep on practicing the basics. So that is very important.
Yep, yep. And I think you would have heard Bhalendu sir say that if you do arithmetic, literally 60% of your work is done. And
Correct, correct.
that's extremely true. Make sure you practice every day and you're staying in touch with your maths. But I wouldn't say, worry too much if it's going down right now, because quant is something that builds up slowly.
And I would like to add something here, right? Several people were saying that no questions or 3 questions or 4 questions have come in once in last year, right? By watching several YouTube videos. So is that true? Only 3, 4 questions came from arithmetic section in the past.
No, I think more than
No.
50% was of the paper was arithmetic.
Right?
And that is how it has been also the pattern of CAT for the longest time.
Yeah.
It's very arithmetic heavy.
Yeah. So that was I was telling them. Okay. Second question.
Okay, I see a question on VARC, mocks versus final exam. Okay, I can start, and then Anirban, you can also answer
Yeah.
this. So VARC, has been a pretty strong section for me, so I don't think I'll be able to add a lot of value here. But what helped me make it strong was reading, watching a lot of shows, videos, that sort of thing. And also, obviously, the way you practice in the mocks and the kind of questions that even Kamlendu sir had given us, doing those Google Forms pretty much every other day, that really helped.
So my first VRC score was -2, and then in my CAT I scored around 95 percentile in VRC. So you see, VRC is not something that you are going to develop very quickly. It gradually your marks will keep on increasing. And if you are not an avid reader and if you don't have good comprehension skills beforehand, I think it might be a bit difficult initially. So you need to create your own strategy. That is, try elimination method, and try to scan the passages and read through your strengths, pick up the passages that you can do well. So these are the things you need to work upon, and gradually your scores will increase. It's all about practice in VRs. There is no set formulas or anything like that.
Okay, I think next question is about panicking in a particular section because time is running out. Yes, of course, that happens. It's very natural for it to happen, even in mocks. And but the idea is before you get to the actual exam, you find a way to calm yourself down. Now, this can be different for everyone. I won't say that meditate for 10 minutes every day and this will solve your problem. You might have a different solution. Sometimes what I would do if I felt I was panicking in quant, I would switch between questions. I started from the beginning, I would then go to the end. If you're not able to solve a question, that's when you start to panic, right? You basically just need to calm yourself down, especially in the CAT. It's honestly a race against time. It's not so much that you don't know the answer, is that if you're able to do it in the time given to you.
I
Yeah,
think you
secondly, I
should
would
not
I would
waste
like,
more
yeah,
time.
speak.
I think you should not waste more than 1 minute if in a quant question. If you are spending 1 minute and you're saying that you're not able to solve it, you should go ahead. So
Okay, second thing, the third thing, okay, apart from these two people, is that you should, right? You should get into a habit of dealing with the time, right? It comes gradually with the papers that you are giving, right? Everyone panics. No one is there who doesn't panic. I panicked, Anirban panicked, Tanushka panicked, right? The only component that is there is the consistency with which you give the marks, right? The difference between those who scored above 95 and those who scored below 95 is that they were lagging in marks, right? Nothing else has worked for anyone other than taking mocks, analyzing those. We would be analyzing those with you, right, as we did last year. Okay, so that would build a habit. Okay, and after making mistakes only, you would get towards a better position. Nobody has gone to the better position without making mistakes, be it Tanushka, be it Anirban, be it Akash, be it Sundaram, right? I hope you have seen Sundaram's condition in August, right? He came for 5 minutes, he spoke to us, and he went out, right? So he was also there, right? Okay, next question, please. Yeah, Anirban, you are on mute.
Can't hear you.
Yeah.
I think it's because of your earphones.
Yes.
Okay, till then, I'll take the next question we had, which is how to stay motivated when you're forgetting your past topics. So you shouldn't be forgetting your past topics. The idea is you should be constantly in touch with what you're studying. It doesn't work to just study what is being taught right now and not practice what has already been taught. And how you do that is basically through your mocks. It's impossible to kind of do it chapter by chapter every single month. In a mock, you do all your topics together. And I would say there is really, you can't take it too soon. You can't take a mock too soon. Take one of the older mocks, you'll probably get past SIMCATs, past those AIM-CATs, which you can do if you don't have live SIMCATs to do right now. Then I have a question. Anirban, are you back?
Yeah, I'm audible now.
Yes.
How did you manage your studies along with your job, working for 6 days a week for around 10 hours a day? Sometime I'm not able. See, CAT is something where you don't need to study 4-5 hours a day. So if you are consistent and if you can take out 1-2 hours daily, so I think that will be manageable. That is manageable, I think. So if you can do that, I think you will be able to manage.
Yeah, and like exactly, I would like when I was working, I would find some time to do maybe one LR set or a couple of quant questions even through the day. So it's not necessary that you find that time either before work or after work. You can even use the breaks that you get, especially if you're working from home.
Does work experience really matter? So I think Tanushka, you should take this.
In the sense, in order to get into an IIM, it matters as many marks they give you for your work. Once you get in and the placements, the summer internships, all of that, then yes, work experience will start to matter. I think we missed a couple of questions in the middle. What can be done in work? I'm able to understand the passage, but not able to get RCs correct. And do you want to take that?
So I think after solving the answers, you need to check the answers and check the explanation what is been given and where you are making the mistake and how are you approaching the question. So where is the difference lying? So if you see that and work upon it, I think you will improve. So don't panic like I'm not getting it right now, but you will gradually get it.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people that I was preparing with had this issue and they kept having this issue until very close to the CAT exam. But the fact is that they were practicing every single day. They were doing those Google Forms pretty much every single day. And that made a difference in their final score. Did you read novels during prep for work? So I would not suggest you pick up novels suddenly if you're not a reader. I don't think it works like that. If you'd like to read already, then by all means, please. But if you are not a reader and you want to pick up a reading habit, a good place to start is our articles and articles that you find interesting. Don't start with a philosophy article which you have zero interest in. If you're into science and you like reading that, start with that.
What is this? Materials which you refer apart from our material. I think mostly mocks did not refer to too much materials available in online, but mostly I stuck to mocks. I don't know about them.
Same. Like initially when we were learning the topics, we did it from the CATWay material, and then it was mocks and the Facebook sessions that they do, which is again pretty diverse and a good source to practice every day. What do you do when you realize you wasted time more than 4 minutes a particular question, but it doesn't take you in? It's a sunk cost, honestly. You have to get it in your mind that you wasted those 4 minutes. There is nothing I can do about this. This is not a question that I can do. Giving another 2-3 minutes will not solve it. You move on. And the idea is to just not be attached to a question. You want to take the next one, Anirban?
What was your way to revise topics? I think mostly I went through old mocks and I saw that where I made the mistakes and how could I solve the paper better. Time management, what question should have gone earlier and which questions I should have solved later, which questions I should have left. So these are the things you need to analyze because in CAT, if more time is given to you now, you will be able to solve most of the questions. So it's about the time game. So you need to keep that in mind too, that it's not about are you able to solve this question or not, but is it a viable option to solve this question in 2 hours time?
Yeah, exactly. Varc approach on daily basis. Again, we'll have very two contrasting points of view, me and Anirban. So I did not do a lot in the starting couple of months for VARC other than giving the mocks and kind of going through those. But eventually, I think September on, I started giving a couple of sectionals for VARC. I started doing the Google Forms that were happening, and I started discussing them with my peer group.
It was mostly the same for me, but I also used Kamlendu sir's band technique for most of the RCs, and it was working for me. So you could try that, I would say.
6 months left for CAT, reading articles or solving RCs. You have to kind of make time for both. So if you're reading articles, that has to be something you're doing in your free time and you're doing because you want to learn more about that topic, not something you have to do every day. Solving RCs is something that you kind of have to do. You kind of have to practice what you're studying. The next question talks about it being an aptitude test.
Hmm. I think CAT mostly checks your comprehension skills. If you see the quant paper also, it does not check how much formulas or your mathematical knowledge. It basically checks that are you able to deduce statement given, and you are able to equate bring up a equation. So that is the main thing they check. And even in LRDI also, you see the most of the LRDIs are case based. They'll give you something. So it's mostly about having good comprehension skills. And there are a lot of people who say that Sudoku and chess and other things help, but I don't think that is much of an help.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not already into that, you don't already do that in your free time, it can be hard to just develop that. But if it's something that you want to pick up in your free time, by all means, I think it definitely helps to make you a little quicker, make things fall into a pattern more easily. Which test series did you guys take? I think we both took AIMCATs and SIMCATs.
AIMCATs and SIMCATs. I think AIMCAT, SIMCAT, and Career Launcher are the 3 options. And if you take any 2, that is more than enough.
Yep. They're pretty much very similar on quality wise.
So we have gone out of questions. Okay. Any more questions you have? Ariman.
Frequency of taking mocks initially, I think in 1 week, 1 mock, but gradually once you get used to giving mocks and you start analyzing it faster, I think then we started giving 2 mocks in a week, and in the later stages it was like in every 2 days we were giving a mock. So it depends upon your progress, the frequency of mocks.
Yep. What were your percentiles during initial phases? I think it starts off good, but in the middle it gets pretty low because you also have more people who start giving the mocks around July, August, September, and that's okay. It's an okay dip to have as long as you're working towards making it better. Sometimes even right before the CAT, you can have a bad mock, like in the month before. The idea is to not let it dishearten you, regardless of what score you get, because the score honestly is immaterial. The questions and what you're learning from it is what you're going to basically use in the actual exam. The score is not going to help you.
Working. Okay, when should we start taking mocks? I think once your course is completed, you should give 1 mock and see, check the ground reality and where do you stand. So that helps, where are you lacking and how you need to go about your preparation now. So that helps. So after you complete your course, I think you should give 1 mock.
I actually took a mock before I'd even started, just to see where I was starting from versus where once after I'd finished the course where it was. But there's no like, you can't start too early. It's okay to take a mock as long as you don't let it affect you. Did you guys read normal Lewis word power met easy? Now I'm confused whether to use it or not. If you have free time, do it. But if not, just focus on practicing.
As Tanushka said, if you have not developed a habit, so it's very difficult to develop a habit in 3 months. So I think it's better to solve questions rather than picking up a habit of reading on what power made easy.
Yep.
What is your approach in DLS sometimes normal, I guess.
No, we both struggled in DILR. That's why we're both smiling. Um, we had really practiced every single day from the sets that Bhalendu sir was putting on Facebook, and beyond that, we discussed why we were going wrong and how our approaches were different. And then obviously in the mocks, that's the real test. Like if you're able to select the right sets, if you're able to do it in that given time.
What can be done for very, very difficult words in RCs? I think don't need to know every word that is written in the RC. You just need to understand the gist of the passage. That is more than enough.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen any like vocabulary based questions in CAT or in our mocks. If you can understand the contextual meaning in it, even if you don't know what the word in itself means, that's all right.
Okay, several people have been asking that whether all the courses, all the topics are being covered in quants or not, right? Since we have done till algebra, we would be moving to geometry. Okay, and here are two people who have done every type of question in quants. I think we covered every type of question in the crash course also, right? What would you two like to say on that?
Yeah, I mean, we covered everything definitely. We started with arithmetic, we moved on to algebra, then geometry, then modern maths. But more than covering everything is that we were also practicing along the way with the material, and we were definitely like discussing and doing the Facebook sessions.
I think it's okay to take a 2-day break. Sometimes you get exhausted, and a 2-day break actually helps you, refreshing your mind, and helps you in your preparation phase as well, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I took probably 5 days off in the month leading up to CAT because I was getting very overwhelmed with my mock scores, constantly having to analyze it, feeling like, it's not going to happen. In that case, it's completely okay. You need to like set that guilt aside, give yourself some time. Totally okay.
Give sectional it depends on your preparation strategy. If you think that giving sectional every day is helping you, then go ahead with it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, test it out. If you give a couple of sections every day and you're seeing some improvement, go for it.
I would like to add something to the first question, Biplab, right? I have seen many people who have been overwhelmed, right? They were not doing that much that they used to do. Okay. For 2, 3 days, they were not feeling good. They were not doing good in the mocks also, right? So the only remedy to that is go somewhere, right? Take some sunlight, do some exercise. Swimming has been a lot of help, has provided a lot of help to me, right? It is also proscribed to the people suffering from depression. Okay, so if you can learn swimming, do it for 2 days, you would feel refreshingly well, right? It does wonders for you. Okay, yeah, next question, please.
How many full length should be given? Full length mocks, I'm assuming, and give as many MCATs and SIMCATs there are, like give the entirety. There are couple SIMCATs, I think, which are right before, like the week before CAT. Obviously, don't give those. But everything else, I feel like the 20 mocks that come, I think, in SIMCAT and 15 in MCAT, you should give those.
How many times you attempted the question of quant and DILR before seeing answers? So I think with DILR, you should be attempting the question in initial phase of your preparation. If you are taking 1 hour to even solve the DILR, it's okay. But you are at least developing a thinking capability and a comprehension skill to logical aptitude as well. So I think in your initial phases, you can take much more time. But once you are getting near to CAT and just before 2-3 months, I think you should not be taking that much time. If you're not able to solve it in 10-20 minutes, you should probably leave and see the answer.
We have a question on focusing on RCs versus reading a lot. I heard practicing RCs only helps getting 95 percentile plus. Okay, so RCs are one part of it, and then VA is one part of it. I would say don't neglect VA because sometimes it comes more easily to a lot of people because that's slightly more logical than RCs are, less understanding based. But yeah, RCs, practicing RCs, I don't think it'll give you like any negative, that there won't be a negative benefit to that. You'll definitely gain a lot from doing that.
I think the VA part for other exams are difficult, but for CAT, if you see the parajumbles and other questions that are other summary questions that are given, that are gradually more easier, and you have more chances to score. So you should not neglect the VA part. I would say
Yep.
that can take a huge difference in your percentage.
Yeah, especially if you feel like you're confident in VA, then that's really boosts your chances of getting your RCs correct as well.
And some of them do not have negative marking, so why leave?
Yes. PJs are a nightmare. Tips to improve. One word, practice. Anirban, do you have any tips?
I think there would be some approaches like if you see the name of the person is given, so that should be in the starting, and then it's referring as him, his. So all these small things do matter, but it's mostly about practice. So once you get you come in the habit of practicing it, you'll get the notion of how to make it.
I don't know what to say for that one.
How to control yourself from taking. I think you should not do this. Rather
Why would you do
leave a
this?
question and concentrate on your accuracy rather than taking a guess. It's not worth.
Yeah, especially at this point of time, accuracy should
Huh.
be your focus. Attempts can always come later
Yeah.
on.
Tanushka, I think.
I'll just reiterate, I think you should find time for both. That's reading is something you need to do on at your free time and for yourself, basically, not just for the cat, but also kind of developing your knowledge. It'll really help in the interviews as well. Problem solving is something that, quant ke 10 question karne hai, 2 RCs karne hai, that sort of thing, that has to be there.
Okay, I think that's all. Okay, yeah, one more question.
Did you attempt all 4 RCs? What was your strategy in VARC? Very personal thing, I would say. And I think this will differ between both me and Anirban and every single person who's given the cat what they are comfortable with. I would attempt all the RCs because that was something I'm comfortable with. And I would also attempt all the VA because, again, no harm in attempting questions where there is no negative marking.
So even I also went with the approach of solving all the questions because I thought that in VRC, the accuracy part is not guaranteed. It's not like in cons that you have solved the question and you're 100% sure that it is correct. So I went ahead with, I backed myself and tried to solve all the questions. And even if I was able to hit a 70-80% accuracy, your scores will be on the higher side rather than you solve 2 RCs and then 2 VRC. There's no guarantee that 100% of all the questions will be right in your answers. So I think that is an approach you could take.
Yes.
Okay, is anyone writing or want to speak can speak. We are here for 1 minute more. I won't be taking GDPI and interrupt.
Share insights. Okay. So this, I think both of us will tell you is something that you should only worry about once you've done well on the CAT and you have calls that you want. Worrying about it right now, studying for it right now will not help a lot because most likely you'll just forget everything you've studied. But if you really want to in your free time, you can always watch those YouTube videos where they take mock interviews or people share their insights. I would sometimes do that in my free time, and that's just a way to get your mind off the preparation process.
Okay, I hope that is all. Okay.
I think most of the people manage to, cover the GK portion just before the OMETs are coming. Like for IFT, you have 1 week and people generally manage to cover the GK. So I think you should probably focus on CAT now rather than other OMETs, because only the GK portion is, I think, extra for other IFT, I guess.
That also, but the cutoff is very low,
Low.
and I think
So
SAT doesn't even
you
consider
just
it.
need to solve 2-3 questions, I guess, to clear the cutoff. So you should not.
Exactly. How to stay motivated? That's the $100 question.
Okay.
How to stay motivated? Again, a very individual process. It really helps if you find a peer group. You find like 3-4 people that are kind of going through the same process as you to talk it through. You'll realize they're going through the same things that you are, and that kind of helps.
How to get improved in LRTI? So in LRTI, I think it's something that you should concentrate more on your accuracy. Even in your first mock, if you're able to solve one LR, I think that is good enough. So after 2-3 mocks, try solving 2 sets in that 40 minutes. So that is how you can gradually improve your LRTI. So work on your accuracy part and logical thinking capabilities. So it is something that will improve with practice only. It's not like improving it.
Thank you for your kind words, Riju.
Okay.
This is another motivation and Anirban if you want to take it.
Any tips for maintaining consistency and avoiding burnout during prep? Consistency is something that you need to set a goal for yourself and you need to work upon it every day. And for burnout, I would say sometimes you can, like Tanushka said, you can watch some external motivation videos, and people who are like inside IIM, you can watch those videos there. So to keep yourself motivated. So, but I don't depend much on external motivation, rather, stick to your peer groups, discuss with them, and stay focused on the goal.
Yep. And avoiding burnouts, you can take breaks as many as you want. That's really, you don't let people tell you that you have to be doing every single day, you have to be practicing for these many hours. Some days you spend 15 minutes, other days you spend 3 hours. It's totally okay. Thanks, guys. Unless there are other questions.
Yeah, I think that is all for
That
today.
is, yeah.
Is there any other question? No. Okay. So I think that is all for today, right?
Yeah.
Take some time for the enjoyment. Okay. Since you have not been enjoying. Okay, you would be working in MBA pretty hard. So please have some holiday. Okay. Holidays
Thank you
are
so much.
important. Okay. So okay, yeah, thanks for finding some time to guide these peeps, right? They do not listen to us. Okay. Even if I reiterate all these points again and again. So it helps if you find someone who has been through the journey. Okay. And as Tanushka said, that it helps when you find other people having the same story, right? I have been reading psychology and that has been mentioned in that. Okay, so you can take those points, and that is all for today, right? Thanks for coming, everyone. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Best of
Thanks,
luck.
everyone.
Shubham is saying, I just joined. Can you please answer his question? Shubham, you are
Alright.
allowed one question now.
Sure, Shubha. Actually, he doesn't have any questions, he said. His congratulations.
Okay, he doesn't have.
Thanks,
Oh.
Shubha.
Okay.
All the best to everyone.
All the
Okay,
best.
bye everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.